This presentation of the Canadian Occupational Performance Measure, or COPM, is based off of the Canadian Occupational Performance Manual. The COPM is an individualized measure used to detect a client's self-perception of occupational performance in problematic occupations at initial assessment and changes in that perception in a reassessment following intervention. The target population are clients with a variety of disabilities and across all developmental stages. The COPM measures the client's perceived occupational performance in 3 occupational categories: self-care, productivity, and leisure. Self-care is further subdivided into personal care, functional mobility, and community mobility. Productivity is divided into paid and unpaid work, household management, community management. Leisure is broken into quiet recreation, active recreation, and socialization. The COPM can be administered in 15 to 30 minutes and only requires the materials of the form, the scoring cards, and the client and therapist. The assessment can be broken down into 3 steps. Step 1 is problem definition, in which it follows the format of the 3 occupational categories. The client is asked to recollect a typical day, identifying what occupations they perform within that category, and of those, which ones they would like to improve in. In step 2, the client rates identified occupations in terms of personal importance using a 10-point scale, where 1 is not important at all and 10 is extremely important. In step 3, the scoring occurs. The client chooses the 5 highest rating occupational problem areas, rates their perceived performance in these 5 occupational areas based on the same 10-point scale as importance. Then they rate their perceived satisfaction in that performance on the same 10-point scale as the previous 2. The total score for both performance and satisfaction are the total performance over number of problems and total satisfaction over number of problems. 2 strengths of the COPM include a broad focus on occupational performance in all areas of life, and it keeps the development throughout the lifespan and the environment into account. Also, number 2 is that it involves the client in the production of quantitative scores calculated from their self-perceived qualitative occupational performance experience. The limitations include the assessment does not provide an objective measure of occupational performance through a direct observation. It only provides it via subjective client statements.
How are you doing, Douglas?
Hi.
I'm Andrew. I'm going to be your occupational therapist today.
Okay.
So we're going to be doing, first thing is an assessment about your occupational performance, or the way you perceive your occupational performance. It's called the Canadian Occupational Performance Measure, or COPM for short, and that goes over basically a broad idea of what you are finding to be difficult areas in your life right now, and we'll focus on 5 of those. We'll choose those, and based on importance level, put 5 of them up, and then we'll work from there on those. So it starts out, we'll find the problem areas. So the first part will be about self-care skills, which is personal care, functional ability, and community management, basically getting around the community and how you deal with your finances. The second part is your productivity, which is basically your work, or paid or unpaid, your household management, how you can take care of your household, cleaning, cooking, all that, and school, which is if you're in school right now. And the last part is your leisure activity, which is based on quiet recreation, which is like your easy going hobbies like crafts or reading, something that's not very active. And then the next one's active recreation, basically sports. And then the last part will be about your socialization. And then after that, I will ask you how you perceive your performance in those, and then also your satisfaction in that performance. Alright, does that sound alright?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the first part we're going to go over is self-care skills, and then there will be 3 subtopics for that, which I've already given you, but I'll go back over and say personal care skills. First one is dressing, bathing, feeding yourself, hygiene, anything that you do for yourself to get yourself ready for the day. Could even be opening containers and pouring liquids or anything like that. So or even medications. So in that area, do you have any difficulties that you're having right now that you want to improve on? Portions of that?
No.
No? Okay. The next one is functional mobility. And that has to do with yourself actually just getting up from a chair and then sitting into another chair, or getting up and then walking around, or both indoors and outdoors. And basically just your generalized way of moving around.
Well, if I sit for a long time, my back will start to hurt.
Yeah? Okay, so do you have any, is it posture?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it have to do with maybe what you're wearing, or what you're sitting in also? The kind of chairs that you have in your house?
It can be.
Can be? Okay. Okay. Is there anything else that you have any issues with getting around?
No.
No? Your bathroom? Any issues with getting around in your bathroom?
No.
No? Okay. So it's not like a tiny bathroom or anything like that? Okay. The next one is community management, which is basically, driving around, either driving a car, taking a bus, using a telephone, arranging for services like plumbing or electricity or anything like that, paying bills, managing money, shopping.
Not that I can think of.
Nothing? Do you have your own accounts and everything and pay all the bills?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Alright, so go on to the next one, which is going to be productivity, which is your paid or unpaid work. And that has to do with, either, do you have a job right now?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Do you feel comfortable with keeping your job, or do you volunteer at all?
I don't volunteer.
You don't volunteer? So how do you like your job? Is it, do you feel like you do well in it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's pretty good. Since I'm going to school right now, work on the weekends, and it makes it easy for me.
Is there anything that you do in your job that you want to work on improving?
Well, I do a lot of sitting.
Do a lot of sitting?
I go back to the other part. Better posture, I guess.
Improving, that's mainly improving posture overall. So I guess we'll go on to the next one, which is your household management, which is cleaning, laundry, cooking, maintaining your house, fixing anything that might be broken.
I think it'd be pretty good out of it.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We'll go on to the next one, which is your schoolwork. How do you feel like you do in your schoolwork? Is there anything you want to improve on? Your focusing skills?
That and procrastination.
Okay. So,
Time management, maybe.
So time management and focus while performing activities. How about organization?
It could be better, but the feeling doesn't hamper anything I do.
Okay, so I'll just write that, and we'll go over what the importance level is for everything later, and it'll be from 1 to 10. I'll tell you in a bit. But is that alright if I write that though? And so the next part is going to be leisure activities, and first part is quiet recreation, basically your hobbies, that you do, any maybe crafts or reading. Do you have any hobbies that you want to improve on? Any aspects of those hobbies?
Not really. No. Okay.
Not sure? Okay. Or you don't think so? Okay. What about recreation? Active recreation, sports. Actually, going back, what about reading? Do you have anything you want to work on reading when you're reading for recreation?
Most time I listen to audiobooks, so it's not really a problem.
Oh, okay. So yes, going back to the sports or exercise, or traveling actually also, or going to like certain activities, like games or something like that. Is there anything in that, like your sports performance?
I'd like to work on getting my core strength up.
Okay.
Getting my chest strength.
Chest strength. All right. Maybe courses. Would you ever like? Are you looking at maybe attending courses to maybe either find hobbies or improve upon the hobbies that you have now? What do you like playing any instruments? You used to? What instruments did you play?
Saxophone.
Saxophone? Anything else?
Nothing that I knew to play other than that.
Well, yeah, this is actually going to focus on anything that you want to start playing or start learning how to do, or something that you want to improve on that you've already played. So is there any kind of instrument or sort of style of music that you want to either start up on or improve on?
I'd like to learn to play the piano.
Okay.
What about learning the fly puzzles? These activities?
Yeah, that would be.
Or pilot one.
Let's see. I can put that as possibly play at school, because you have to learn how to actually do that. You have to take courses, but I'm gonna set that actually into the active recreation as well, because they include
learning the martial arts. Some sort of.
Oh. Okay, so you'd be interested in martial arts learning too? So flying a plane? Okay. Do you need to improve on like finding courses too? You need maybe, that's pretty probably simple to find. Just look it up online. So you want to work on your core strength, your chest strength, learn how to play the piano. Have you played the piano before though?
Yes, but not, I don't really know how to play. I just play around with it.
Okay. Learn martial arts. Have you performed any martial arts before?
No.
Okay. And fly a plane. You ever fly in simulators or anything?
I had a flight lesson before.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you're already partially there. Do you have anything else in the hobbies area that makes you like photography, card games?
Sometimes I do photography.
You do photography? Okay. Is there anything in the photography that you want to improve on?
There's more technical aspect of it.
Okay. All right. So, now our last section in the leisure area is socialization. So that is, visiting with friends or family, talking on the telephone, attending parties, hosting parties, writing letters, planning socialization events, attending group functions, and that's an area around there. Anything you want to work on?
Probably my interpersonal communication skills.
Interpersonal communication? Okay.
So I think about becoming a police officer, and I think I could improve on that. And help them all career.
Okay, that actually comes back to work also. So you're not where you are right want to be though, with your paid work right now. There's other areas that you want to work on too, or you're not a police officer right now?
No.
Okay. So you want to not only on the work that you have right now, but you want to future work, yes. So there might be some steps you want to take towards getting to be better at becoming a police officer? Okay. Okay. So now we're going to go back to socialization. You got communication skills. Do you ever put together events or anything?
No.
No?
I try to give online classes or extra credit events where we give speeches. I try to give those as much as possible.
Okay. So your mass communication skills, is that something? What about anything with friendships? You want to improve on any relationships or any aspects of those relationships? How you get along with somebody or I'm sorry.
So, cut it. Well, brother's a real asshole. Not that I can think of.
Not that you can think of? Okay. Now that we focused on or found out what areas of occupation you want to improve on, we're going to rate those areas based on importance. And I have this card right here, and its importance scale from 1 to 10, and it shows things that are not important at all from 1, and then 10 to extremely important. So the first one we had was in self-care, which is posture. So what would you rate posture as?
Probably about an 8.
Okay. The next thing we had was your play. Actually, no, there's a police officer training and execution of skills. What would you rate that as?
Probably about 10.
A 10? Okay. The next one is in school related, and now the first is time management. What would you rate that as?
A 9.
A 9? Okay. And then the next one is concentration and current activities.
Probably also a 9.
A 9? Okay. Organization.
Like 3 or 4.
Okay. The next one is active recreation, and that is core strength.
Maybe about 7.
7? How about chest strength?
Maybe 5.
5. Okay. Learning to play the piano.
Maybe 3.
Three. Okay. Martial arts?
Maybe 4.
Flying a plane?
Maybe 7.
Seven. And technical aspects of photography?
3.
Alright, so the next part is socialization, which is first one's interpersonal communication.
Probably 10.
And then the last one is mass communication skills.
How about 9?
Okay. Alright, so now that we have all these down, we are going to find the 5 most important areas of occupational performance that you want to improve on. And so of these, we have the highest ones marked are police officer skills, time management, concentration, posture, then core strength, flying a plane, interpersonal communication, and mass communication. So, I'm going to go by what you have on 10s first, if you'd like that, okay. So I think police officer skills goes in with your interpersonal communication, so we might just not put 2 of the same. And so we'll start out with interpersonal communication. And then the next one, would you say mass communication, time management, or concentration?
Concentration.
Concentration. And then the next one, time management or mass communication. Or you could choose another one, though, if you want to. Like posture.
Probably mass communication.
Mass communication? Okay. Okay. What about time management or flying a plane or posture? Posture. And one more. We have left basically core strength, which is sort of posture, related to posture. We could work on both at the same time. There's also flying a plane, or chest strength.
Probably flying a plane.
Flying a plane? Alright, so next we're going to rate your performance, the way you perceive your performance in all 3 of these. So you have their interpersonal communication, concentration, mass communication, posture, and flying a plane. So on this, what would you rate? First one, interpersonal communication, on your performance.
Probably about a 4.
4? Okay. And concentration?
Probably 2.
2. Okay. Mass communication?
Probably also 4.
4. Okay. Posture?
Maybe 5.
And flying plane?
6.
Okay. And now we're going to go to the last part, which is your satisfaction, which is 1 is not satisfied at all, and then 10 is extremely satisfied. So, do you understand what the difference is between performance and satisfaction?
Not exactly.
Well, basically your performance is how you think you're going to do on it. And then, and satisfaction, how much you enjoy doing something, or how well you're satisfied while you're doing it. So you could be, lowest level of performance in it, but if you're still satisfied at a certain level, that's can be totally different. So on satisfaction level with your interpersonal communication, how much satisfaction do you get from talking with another person?
About a 2.
Concentration?
Probably a 1.
A 1, okay. Okay. Mass communication? 3. Okay. Posture?
About 5.
5. And flying a plane?
Probably 8.
Alright. Well, so we're done with that right now, and I will put the scores together in a moment, alright?
Here we see Douglas's results. Based on the total performance over number of problems, his performance score as of now is a 4.2, and his satisfaction score from total satisfaction over number of problems is a 3.8. These initial scores must be compared to a second reassessment scores in order to be clinically useful. But the interpretation also is that the identified problems in the problem list from Part 1 are used as a basis of intervention for Douglas. Most importantly, the top 5 that he chose. The test-retest reliability of the COPM, based on 3 studies, is well above the accepted range. Thus, it concluded that the COPM can be repeated to produce stable results over varying intervals. Ways to improve the reliability of the COPM are to use the same therapist to administer assessments throughout the process, to administer at the same time of the day in the same conditions, and to ask the same standardized or structured questions during each interview. 8 studies of the content, criterion, and construct validity supported the validity of the COPM as a measure of occupational performance. Ways of improving validity include an actual performance section of identified problem areas in the COPM assessment to validate the client's perception scores. A second one would be to add an interpretation section to the scorings that explains how total scores in certain ranges can be interpreted. Third are to include a perception scoring section in which client rates the scores they plan to have for performance and satisfaction at reassessment.